Okay. We are here again. The Genesis Support and Care Foundation. We are here to support the cause. We are creating awareness because today is the 10th of October 2021. 10th of October 2021 is usually Mental Health Day all over the world. So we are not going to be any different from anybody. We are going to talk about mental health. This is going to be shared into episodes for like a week, like 1 week. We're going to be posting like different episodes on different days of the week. And in the different, like on the next episode, we're going to have guests or the teammates join us on the forum. So join us as we partake in the Mental Health Awareness Day. Thank you. So, first of all, we've always had this point in our lives. There's always that point in our life when you feel miserable. We've always felt miserable. Everybody on this earth has felt miserable before. So you cannot tell me that you're any different from the other person. So, unlike physical health, there's something called mental health. People of the world today just take care of their physical health. Nobody's looking mentally inwardly. Nobody's looking inwardly to their mental health. So I'm calling out everybody to prioritize their mental health today being the 10th. And not just only today. You can prioritize your mental health like throughout the whole week. It's free. Prioritize your mental health. Before we start, we're going to be defining mental health. So we're going to start by defining mental health. This is not my definition, so I'm going to read from a book. I'm sorry. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which individuals realizes his or her own self. The person realizes his or her own abilities. The person can cope with the normal stresses of life. He or she can work productively and fruitfully and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So, what are they trying to say? Mental health is the ability to recognize your well-being, like yourself inwardly. You have to find yourself and know what makes you happy and what makes you sad so that you can prioritize this mental health disorder or these mental health conditions. Everybody go through mental health conditions or disorder once in a while. In our world today, people have been so engrossed in negative behaviors that make them think that they are just normal. Meanwhile, they don't actually know that they have like a mental disorder. So I'm here to expose those things that you do that you don't know that is a mental disorder. So types of mental health conditions. I'm not going to be going deep into these mental health conditions today, like the types of the mental health conditions today, due to certain reasons. So on maybe the next episode, we'll really dive into all these types of mental health disorders. We'll go deep into it, or even further explain more that are not on the list. So I'm going to be talking about the common types of mental health disorder. 1. Depression. 2. Anxiety. 3. PTSD, which is known as post-traumatic stress disorder. Then we have OCDs, which is the obsessive compulsive disorder. Then we also have like extreme conditions, which are the bipolar people. So for today, I'm going to be taking them one after the other, but I'm going to explain just little details on them. I'm not going to go further because of time. So let's look at depression. An individual with depression experiences low mood. Like you keep having this constant low mood and loss of interest in activities and events which you previously enjoyed, Yeah, like it's a period of sadness where you just black out, you just go zone out of a particular situation or a particular place you are. Like people just feel like they don't want to mingle with people during those periods and all, and it can be very depressing. Let me just say depressing because I don't know how best to explain this. So depression is a killer of joy. Once you're depressed, you don't even feel like doing things anymore. You just want to be isolated on your own. You don't want to mingle with people. You don't want to have friends. Like it's just like an on and off mood. But I think depression is a more negative mood. It's a more negative mood. Yeah, you can't even go on sometimes. You always go down in depression. So unlike anxiety that you can go up and down. So depression is really a very low, negative, and constant low mood. I don't know how to explain. Okay. So we're going to be talking about anxiety. Anxiety is like anybody going through anxiety is a period where you are unsure about a particular thing. Like apart from being unsure, you have this high and lows of mood swings and all. Today you're vibrant, tomorrow you're just down, low self-esteem. In fact, anxiety can just be anything that is negative. Although sometimes we have positive anxiety, yeah, but mostly we're here to talk about mostly the negative part, how to bring yourself out of the negative part. So being anxious every time negatively is very bad for your mental health. I'm not saying the positive one is good either, but you have to always be positive even if you're like anxious about a particular thing. So anxiety is like an up and down process of life. Like not life, but I think an up and down process of emotions, moods. So you keep going up and down, unlike depression that you keep going down. And depression can lead to suicidal thinking. So that's just it. So now we're going to talk about PTSD, which is the post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, before we talk about PTSD, let's talk about trauma. Trauma comes in phases. There is the phase 1 of trauma, the phase 2, which I'm not going to be explaining like a lot about this today. There's the phase 1 and the phase 2, there's phase 3. It gets way deeper. And some traumas are caused by from childhood. You can have a traumatic childhood, like how you grew up, people around you, how they treated you, like, or maybe what you have gone through, like people that have gone through rape. They have trauma, they go through traumas. So trauma is like it goes in phases. It keeps going, it doesn't just stop. So I feel like trauma needs to be prioritized too. You have to prioritize your mental health. You have to identify that you have trauma and prioritize your mental health. So next we go into PTSD. Okay, PTSD, that's the post-traumatic stress disorder. It's just like trauma, yeah, but this one is like the after effect of trauma. Just like people that went through rape, most of them go through PTSD. Or maybe you went through a difficult situation in your life, or difficult times. Yeah, you go through PTSD at a point because when you start recalling everything you went through, everything you passed through, everything that occurred in that place, and if it was very painful, you just get this sense of I don't know, hurt inside. You just feel a huge pain, a huge burden in your heart. And sometimes some people, when they have PTSD, they are just numb. Funny enough, They don't just have feelings, they just don't want to talk to people, they're just going through their own phase at that particular moment. So I feel like PTSD, it can be bad if you allow it to extend up to the period you don't want it to extend. So no matter what, you have to try and bring out yourself from that dark place in your life, because that dark place is very hard. But people that bring themselves out of that dark place are known as heroes. So you have to bring out yourself from the dark place. It takes a hero to bring out themselves from the dark place. Yeah, so that's PTSD. So next I'm going to be talking about OCDs, which is the obsessive compulsive disorder. This one is tough. Okay, so this obsessive compulsive disorder is a point, or people it happens to with people that live with this OCD. In other words, they experience constant stressful thoughts. OCDs are they're very deep. If we keep looking, if we keep looking into OCDs, like we will not stop today. But I'll give you a brief definition of OCDs and people living with OCD. So these people experience constant and stressful thoughts and have the powerful urge to perform repetitive acts such as hand washing. Some people don't know when they do certain things because they find themselves doing it. Just like some people have like fear of the dirt, so they keep washing their hands. Like it's an OCD, they cannot just stop washing their hands, and that is a mental disorder that people feel is normal sometimes. Some people will say this person is too clean, meanwhile they are going through, it's a mental disorder. Every time you're seeing yourself washing clothes. Some people cannot even just keep something somewhere without folding it. They must always fold it, and they will keep folding it. Do you get, like, some people, when you want to sit on their couch, they're always very conscious. Is she going to drop something on the floor? Is she going to dirty my bed? Is she going to do this? So it's an OCD. Some people are OCD for dirt, some people are OCD to different forms of activities of life. So OCDs has to be watched. Sometimes when you find yourself doing those things excessively, just ask yourself, draw yourself back and ask yourself, am I sure this is not an OCD? Bring yourself back and prioritize your mental health. So OCDs. Then bipolar. Bipolar is way deeper than we actually think. Bipolar is something that if we talk about now, we can't just stop, because nobody really knows the cause of bipolar. So people are still researching on bipolar to know the actual cause of bipolar disorder. So a person with bipolar experiences unusual changes in their moods, energy levels, and activity, and ability to continue in their daily lives. Okay. So they have periods of high moods, which is known as panic phases, and they also have period of low moods, which is called depressive phases. So bipolar is like it switches up and on fast. You don't even know when you're high and when you're low. Like, you just see yourself being hyperactive, high and low at the same time. So I feel like bipolar is way deeper than anything. So no matter what, when you have bipolar or you're bipolar, you have to look for things that make you happy. You have to do things that prioritize your mental health, like exercising, reading a book. But funny enough, bipolar, most people that have bipolar, most of them are very successful people with bipolar. But you never know that they go through they are bipolar. They go through this mental health disorder. So I feel like people in that place always prioritize. You have to always prioritize your mental health when you have, like, when you're bipolar. Like, it's just a normal thing to do. And another thing, people with bipolar, they go through blackouts. Sometimes they don't even know where they are again. Like, that up and low mood thing, like switching acts. It doesn't just go slowly, just unlike will I say anxiety that can go slowly. Bipolar is very fast. You don't even know when it happens and when it ends. So I feel like bipolar is way deeper, but I can't look into it today. So with all that in check, we're going to be looking at the causes of this mental health disorder. Okay, people have tried their possible best to find out what are the causes of these mental health disorders, and nobody has really found like a very tangible proof that this is the cause. So we're here to say the few ones that have been researched, and this is what people found out, that your environmental can cause your mental health disorder. Then there's hereditary, which is genetics too. So some people are born with mental health disorder. Maybe they have like and in Nigeria here where I'm from, people are like the person is an obanje, or the person is something. Meanwhile, they're going through like a mental disorder, and people don't even know that this is a mental disorder. So they just classify it that, okay, in this family they are known for madness. They have madness in this family. So I feel like people should look more into mental health disorders than pointing fingers at people. Yeah, so that's just it. So genetically, it can be passed on to your next generation. So you have to prioritize that part. So chemical imbalance in the brain. This part, just like we have pH balance in the body, there is chemical imbalance in the brain too. So this chemical imbalance in the brain, maybe you're just lacking one particular vitamin, or maybe something, or just a particular thing. I can't really explain much. I'm not a researcher, so I can't really explain much about this chemical imbalance. But chemical imbalance in the brain causes mental health disorder. So another one is childhood trauma. This childhood trauma is like when you were born, like what you went through, what you saw your parents doing, what you saw the environment at large doing. So I feel like this childhood trauma is very deep. People experience a lot of bad things during their childhood, or what they saw their parents doing, maybe from a violent home, or just something, their father just being or their mother just left them, like their father just doing the domestic violence, or their mother left them, all those kind of things. So people just go through a lot of things during their childhood, which causes childhood trauma, So gone were the days when people do not speak up because of the fear of being judged. I think people should stop judging people that speak up about their mental health. If you don't want to speak up on your mental health, somebody else wants to, because they want to be free of stress. Then you'll be there killing yourself inside. And guess what? When you kill yourself inside and you die, guess what people will do next? We come for the burial and we eat rice. So that's what people just classify you under. They just classify you among the, So I feel people should come out more and speak on their mental health instead of just bottling things up and dying in silence. Because when you die in silence, it doesn't help anybody. Instead, you're the one to blame. And when you die, you don't know where you're going to. So I feel people should speak up. People should speak up. So most people, I've realized that most people that go through this mental health disorder, like the most, not as if everybody doesn't go through it, but most people that really go through it the most are introverts. If you're an introvert on this video, try and learn to speak up, and speak up to people that will help you. Prioritize your mental health. Not everything should be thought about. Don't double check everything. Don't double think everything. It's not very important. Sometimes you have to relax in life and let things just flow, Okay, so you have to find a way to ease the stress out of your system. Some people don't even talk about anything. They just cling on to alcohol or cling on to drugs because they feel that that is going to help them. Instead of speaking up to a professional or a therapist, they just feel that they can just use alcohol and drugs, all these abusive substances, and just deprive themselves of the pain at the moment. But let me tell you something, those things just give you temporal, when I mean temporal, I mean, hear this again, it just gives you temporal immunity to that pain. And when it's done fading, what happens? You go through, or you enter more into a massive depression. So that's just it. So with all that being said, we're going to be talking about how to overcome mental health disorder. Ways to overcome mental health disorder. Number one is acceptance. Number one is identification. You have to identify what you're going through. If you're not able to identify it, how will you know? How will you even accept that you have it? So you first identify you have a problem before a problem is being solved. Then secondly, acceptance. When after identification of your problem, whether you have anxiety, you have PTSD, you have OCDs, you have depression, or anything, you have to identify that this is what I have and accept it. Learn to accept, no matter how painful it is, learn to accept that this is what it is. Then, if you cannot accept something, you can't change it. So I feel like people need to accept their pain. People need to accept everything that they inflict on themselves, or I don't know how to explain this, but people need to learn acceptance. Acceptance is key to change. Okay. Then number 3 is have a plan. Have a plan or a routine. Some people just involve themselves in negative routines where they just keep thinking about negative things and they feel like it's okay to think about it. Meanwhile, you're just killing yourself slowly. Guess what? Have a plan. Plan is like bringing a paper and a pen and tell yourself, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to exercise today. I'm going to practice waking up early. I'm going to practice words of affirmation. You just have to practice some things. You have to tell yourself things. Make a plan, a routine. Then you seek momentum. So, which brings us to number 4, seeking momentum. Seeking momentum can be things that make you happy. You can ride a bike, you can take a walk, you can exercise, you can run in the park, you can dance, you can play, you can sing, anything that just makes you happy. So you have to find momentum, seek momentum. It's very important in life to seek momentum. Yeah. So part of seeking momentum, you can also listen to motivational musics. Yeah, music. Then you can also listen to motivationals or read motivationals. It will help you a lot in going through in overcoming your mental health disorder. Yeah, so always look for a good reason to keep living. Look for a good reason to keep holding on to life, because life is sweeter than you think. Life is gold. So I feel everybody should prioritize living. Another way to overcome it in seeking momentum is find things that keep you winning. Find things that keep you winning. Be stuck to your goals. Try and achieve your goals. It will help your mental health. It will help you to be mentally stable. So people that seek momentum, that find ways to make them keep winning, they are the people that go through, they are the people that overcome mental health disorder. So I feel everybody should be stuck to a particular goal. Seek momentum. Be stuck to a particular goal. So another one is set your own rules. Tell yourself, this is what I should be doing, this is not what I should be doing. Tell yourself different things and always affirm to yourself. It is very important. Then the final one, which is the fifth one, is ask for help. This is overrated, but you need to ask for help when you know that you cannot handle it again, you ask for help. So you can either seek help from your family member, a friend, or a professional, a therapist. You can actually seek help, or you can come to the Genesis Foundation to seek help too. Like, we're here to help you 24/7, so you have to seek help every time, Okay. So quickly, how to observe World Mental Health Day. You do a therapy in your workplace, your house, your family, anywhere you are, just do a therapy. Then you practice self-care. Practicing self-care helps you to overcome mental stress. Then you also follow the theme. This year's theme is mental health in an unequal world. Follow the theme. So I'm going to be taking one question now that somebody just asked me. The person said, how do I know I have mental issue, or mental issues rather? You know by your routine what you do. Is it how you used to do things? Is this how your mood gets? Like, you have to know. So I think that's the easiest thing to do, like to identify whether you have mental health. So you have to know your mood. What makes you happy, what makes you, whether you are in your high mood or in your low mood. So if you see yourself going down every time, it means that you have to prioritize your. So the theme of this year's Mental Health Day is mental health in an unequal world. Mental health in an unequal world. Okay? So today being the 10th of October, which is Mental Health Awareness Day, we are going to be shining a light on those mental health conditions that need to be looked into, and telling people to prioritize their mental health. Okay? So there's a need to focus sufficiently on our mental health beyond the physical health. We have to focus on health now beyond just the physical health. So we have to look inwardly. And moreover, due to COVID-19 pandemic has changed like a lot of things. It has increased mental health disorders. It has even given people more mental health disorders that we cannot figure out. So it's a struggle for people living in the world today. So I believe people should come out and create awareness on mental health beyond the physical. COVID-19 has really caused a lot of harm to us because remember how 2020 was and nobody was going out, so people in their houses were depressed because they could not make income was not flowing as it used to flow. So everything you had to do was just online, being in a confined environment, in a confined space, which made people more depressed. It increased mental health disorders. Yes. So the COVID-19 pandemic has increased inequalities in human development, including dealing with a shitty mental health. Dealing with a shitty mental health condition. So it really made things worse. So we are asking everybody in the world to come out and join this cause, support this cause. Let's create awareness on mental health and prioritize our mental health, because if you're not okay mentally, you cannot be okay physically. Every health starts from the inside before it comes on the physical. So let us come out and prioritize our mental health. It is very important. I don't know how many times I'm going to speak on this. Another thing, to practice this mental health day, to practice mental health today, that is the 10th of October, you have to be kind to people, be nice to people, because you don't know what people are going through. So be nice. Anybody you see, be nice to them. Okay? So, as I said, my name is Jennifer Ibuabuchi, founder / executive director of the Genesis Support and Care Foundation. We are here to say you are not alone. Join the cause and fight for mental health. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your week. Ciao.